I'm just annoyed. I mean, I don't know why anybody would tell me that I got to pay my dues.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I've paid my dues. I went to undergrad, grad school. I played Bugs Bunny at Magic Mountain in 105-degree weather in a fursuit. I interned at 2 different major theater companies. I mean, I was an extra. I was a stand-in. I've been in movies. I've done 50 or 100 scenes in a million acting classes. It's just like, why would he say I had to pay my dues?
It's just a fucking asshole.
But it's just been
it's
spinning around
Joel,
in my head.
Here's the thing: is you
like,
literally.
why would anybody say that?
Joel.
What?
You pay dues to your union, right? You literally pay dues
that too.
to the Screen Actors Guild. So what the fuck is he talking about, paying dues? Why is he talking about acting at all?
I don't know.
What does he know about acting? Why do you listen to him?
He probably just wants, maybe he comes from that generation where, like, they try and toughen you up or whatever. Or I really don't know. All I know is that I got to get a job and I got to stand out. Because you got to stand out in this market to get a job. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 In your head, a zombie. I never knew they were saying zombie in that. I thought they were saying some like Gaelic thing, like zombie, or something like that. It's weird because remember I was singing that song yesterday?
Yes, you've been singing that song all day and night.
All day long, I could not get it out of my head. And then I go to Facebook, and Ray Scanlon has posted the video on Facebook.
Of the song that you're singing?
No, not of me, but of the song that I'm singing. The Cranberries singing
That's
Zombie.
Bizarre.
I know, it's like so obscure.
Bizarre.
You know what it is?
What is it?
It's the algorithm.
What's
the algorithm.
The
The algorithm, some powerful stuff. I was, Googling that song, and I found out about the lead singer, how she died of alcohol poisoning and all this horrible stuff.
Yeah.
And I really, took a deep dive on it. And I think because Ray Scanlon has been on my show and is a subscriber, I think it popped up on his feed. This is what I think. That is the power
of the algorithm.
That's right.
The algorithm's gonna get you.
We got it. No, we don't. Not it's gonna get you. The algorithm's gonna help you. We got to figure out how to get this thing working for ourselves. I remember I saw Dustin Hoffman's headshot a long time ago, and I was surprised because it looked like he was, just playing softball. He was like at a softball game, and they just snapped a picture of him. He wasn't even looking at the camera.
Why do you think that was his headshot, though?
Because it had like a white frame around. How headshots
No way.
Yeah, it was totally his headshot, and it was, it was as if it was like a baseball card or something like that. It was just,
that is weird.
But I think that there's something to that. If it looks like you don't, I remember my first agent was Scott Bakula's agent, from Quantum Leap. Guy works all the time. Murphy Brown, just always working. Now he's on like NCIS. New Orleans or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy. Scotty, he called him. Because if that's like code for he and I are good friends. If you call somebody, slang term for their first name, and it's like Bobby De Niro. Like if you say Bobby De Niro, it's like you are either Martin Scorsese or you're Joe Pesci, basically. Nobody else can say Bobby De Niro.
What about his wife?
He's not married.
What do you mean he's not married?
I think they got a divorce. I don't know. I can never keep track of
Could she call him Bobby?
She might call him Booby. I don't know what she calls him. Why would I? I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta work on the Artful Dodger thing. Are you gonna help me? I gotta be British. I gotta be like.
No, but
sorry,
I was telling
mate.
a story. I was telling a story. I just want to finish it, okay? My agent, Scott Bakula's agent. Scotty's agent. He said, Scotty, when he goes to an audition, he brings a tennis racket. Now I know what he means. I didn't know at the time. I was like, should I bring a tennis racket? Maybe I should bring like a badminton racket or something lighter.
We have a racquetball racket.
But now I know. I know exactly what he meant.
What does it mean?
I lost it. I totally forgot. I don't know. I had it. I had this like epiphany about what he means about carrying a tennis racket, and now I just totally lost it. So I don't know. Tell me about your audition. I just went right out of my
Well, that
head.
is problematic. That may be, is that called dementia or
I don't know.
Alzheimer's?
You know, sometimes you have like this epiphany. You're like, oh my God, I just realized the secret to life. And then you're just like, what was the thing that the producer said to you about how you can stand out in your self-tapes?
Oh.
This is good advice. I should probably talk about it on the show for actors
I
out there.
don't think it's good advice. He said that the producers, when they're watching the self-tapes, they're looking at their phones, just like scrolling through Facebook or whatever.
They are. They are.
So that they're hearing the same lines over and over, every actor saying the same lines. And so to like shock them, he said just like make like a noise like
In the middle of the scene?
yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm totally going to do that. Because they're looking at their phones. And I'll be just like, yes, I realize now why my mom never loved me.
That's
because I
probably
remind her of my father who left when I was
Oh my God. Sorry, mate. You gave up too early. Tidied yourself up. You gotta look rough, ain't ya? Put on the sad face or borrow a dog.
What is that? I got a borrowed donkey. I'll let you have him for 2 pence.
2 pence? Don't set your sights too high.
What are you doing?
Mate.
What are you doing?
It's a British casting workshop.
What in your cast is like
I'm the Artful Dodger.
Oh my God.
Look, Joel, you gotta try all of them. You gotta try all
You're
the
doing a
casting
casting
directors.
workshop in London? Can't compete with that shit.
What? Can't compete with the Brits?
Never
what,
act.
Fucking patriot or what?
Never act with animals, children, or British people. They always steal the focus.
Listen, the Brits are fucking serious about their bloody acting.
Yeah, they are.
You've got to do a tape every day. Every single day they give
Every
you a
day?
different one, and you've got to do it and learn the lines and do it, and then the other students critique you.
I heard there was a guy who did 1,400 of them in a
Yep.
row every single day.
Yep. 1,490
And I'm
or
on.
something.
I'm on episode only 250 of lunch. Wait a minute.
You
Shit.
keep forgetting your
I'm totally
your
late.
show.
I can't believe
Why
I'm
do you
late
keep
again.
forgetting your show?
I don't know. I just
Something
snotted all
is
over
wrong
myself.
with you.
Okay, I gotta
What
go.
time are we shooting The Artful Dodger?
I don't know. I gotta do my.
Look, I gotta do it in time for the British time zone, Joel.
We'll do it later.
Holy,
I don't have any time.
holy, Hoel, Joel, Hal. Sorry, mate. You gave up too early.
Today, lunch therapy. Sorry, I'm late. I'm late again. I don't know what's going on with my head. It's like scattered. I need to breathe more. I don't know. The Brits blink while acting. Well, that's a good point. They never blink. They have no eyelids, I don't think. I'm gonna have my eyelids removed. That way I'll be like so focused that I will never blink. And I don't know, something going on with the YouTube chat room. If anybody could chat from YouTube, I think it was turned off and now it's turned on, and maybe you have to refresh going to do round 2 of the Silvestri Rock and Roll History Pocket Hall of Fame. So get your trivia books out if you're cheating. Hi Loretta, great to see you. Hi Chuck, Yell. I still haven't seen any YouTube yet, chat, so I don't know. That might be all messed up, but we'll find out as we go. It's part of the adventure. Yay, Howard. I'm going to bring Howard on in a second. He's in the green room, chilling with Boney. But first, before we even breathe, I want to point something out. My sister-in-law, Heather Marshall, is a medical professional and a first responder, and so at the Sounders game, she got the privilege of holding up the scarf. I'm not sure what it means. I think it means something like it's like a cheer that they do. So let's see her doing that. Oh, that's Ganelle. That's not her doing that at all. This is Ganelle with a hummingbird, which I will show you later. Here she is. This is Heather. There she is. She was, she gets the whole stadium to cheer. So that's pretty cool. That's Heather Marshall doing the scarves up at the Seattle Sounders game. Way to go, Heather. Her face was on the screen. Yes, applause would be good. Woo! Yeah. There she is. So that's cool. Wow. Way to go, Heather. And way to go out there being a, first responder, helping people out during this crazy time. She's a hummingbird. She's not here today, probably because she's working. Yay, Heather. All right, so that's cool. That's one of the hummingbird things that's going on out there. Another one is Ganelle seems to have tamed a hummingbird. So we're going to take a look at that. Here's Ganelle. He was in the quiz last week. Let's see if he can get a hummingbird to land in the palm of his hand. What? And yeah, isn't that crazy? It's really quite unbelievable, really. Look at that. He is the hummingbird whisperer, Ganelle. I know. All right, without further ado, I am going to get Howard on the show. Howard Aronin, many of you know, is the darling of the comedy scene. And he is here once again. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Howard Aronin. Here to breathe with us, here to be with us. And there he is. Look at that. He's like floating out there in the seagulls. I love this. Oh, wow. The special effects on this show are just unbelievable. They're just off the hook, off the chain. And now is what you've all been waiting for. They're clapping out there in the chat room. Spirits flying high. Sweetheart. The sweetheart. The sweetheart. No, he's the darling of comedy. Wasn't it the darling of comedy? Yeah?
It's all positive.
It's all good. Unmatched FX. Okay. All right, so let's breathe. It's time to breathe. We're going to breathe. And we're going to breathe in through the nose, and we're going to breathe out through our toes. So, Howard, do you want to take the first breath?
Yes.
Hold it. Let it go. Of course, I had to control the breath somehow. Okay, now you're doing this one. You're doing the second one. Sweetheart of comedy. We're having a battle between sweetheart and darling. Darling and sweetheart. All right, one more, and we're going to get on with the show. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. I see Vernus is here. Welcome. Nice. All right, moving on. Live guest time. This is a little intro for you. I don't know. The technical gods are not with me today. Yay! All right. I don't know what's going on. Who knows? There was supposed to be a lot of applause there. There we go. Woo! Howard, yeah.
And how about a hand for the guy that dressed up as Bugs Bunny at Magic Mountain?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Howard the Love Bug. Yeah. Howard, it's so great to see you. I'm just, you have such great energy about you, and I just enjoy your presence so much. We're here. One of the things we're going to do today is we are going to take the Silvestri challenge, which is nearly an impossible quiz. Last time, I don't know, how many did you got a lot right, though. You got a lot. How many did you get right last time?
I got a couple. I took a couple swings and got close. I don't want to brag. I don't think I was that great, but Jimi Hendrix, that was a good one. I'm glad I got Jimi Hendrix.
There might be some Hendrix in this one again today. Tom Silvestri, the writer of these this quiz, he's seen Jimi Hendrix, I think, at least 3 times live. So, I mean, that's something.
And he's a Seattle guy like you, right?
No, he's not. He's not. He just happens to be a Hendrix fan. Not even a Seattle guy like me.
Oh, no, I mean...
Hendrix
himself was a Seattle guy.
Jimi Hendrix was a Seattle guy. Let's see if I can name some musicians from Seattle, which will surprise you. First one I'm going to really surprise you with is Kenny G. Do you know Kenny G? Yeah, Kenny G. It's from Seattle. No, that's a little known one. Another one is Quincy Jones. He's from Seattle.
So we've got G and Q so far.
Yeah, that's right. Macklemore, of course.
Macklemore.
Then there's all the grunge people, of course, which we don't have to name those people because that was a whole movement. And let's see. Howard needs a T-shirt. Howard is getting a T-shirt. It's coming his way. It's red, and it's super nice.
Yeah, I wanted red.
Yeah, that was. Everybody has different choices. I used to wear red. The red one a lot because it's good with the backgrounds. I have a red one. Super nice. All right, so one of the things I want to talk to you about right off the bat is hosting comedy. You've hosted a lot of comedy shows, right?
I have. I was I guess they call it an in-house host. In Burbank, and I did that a lot, and I did clean comedy shows. I got a good reputation for being a host because I'm not chatty in between the acts. I keep going, keep the energy going, but I don't, it's not about me. It's about the performers. So I really love to host. Although when there's 20 to 25 comics on the dais or performing, it's a chore. It's work. But it's like an umpire or a referee. If they don't notice you, you did a good job.
Come on, it can't go that far. They don't notice
it's like you ran a good show.
It's not like lighting, where if they don't notice the lighting, then you did a good job.
Yes.
But the host, I think you want to at least, have a little presence, right?
You just don't want to, you don't want to mess up the show.
You're there for them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I recently went to a show and the energy is so important. The guy came out, I won't say where, but I just went to a show as a audience member, and he was a Hulk. He was mean. He was loud. He was already raunchy, and I thought, well, that's the show. That's what's going to happen. The entire show is going to be like this in between the acts, and it was.
I think that's true what Loretta says. Very few people get it's not all about me. That's one of the most annoying things, right? And I think that's something as a performer you have to kind of know sometimes too. It's not all about you. Now, okay, but is there like a specific tactic? Like when you come up on the stage after a comedian, do you riff on what they did?
Well, it's a touchy subject because I feel sometimes there's low-hanging fruit. Like the performer talks about eating octopi or cactus and good night, and he's gone.
Yeah.
I can immediately do a riff on that or leave it for the next comedian who is in the show and an actual comedian, and I'm actually running the show. I'm the host, and I can leave him that delightful opening when he comes out or something. So I hope that was a good example, but
I think so.
Rhythm is very important. Rhythm is very important.
Another thing you can do is you can allow people to kind of remember who the comedian was. You can say their name again, like, oh, that was great. That was Howard Aronin. And you can also say some kind of funny thing about him that people will be, will remember, perhaps.
Sometimes you have to say something. You have to make a comment because they left it out there. And if you don't say a comment, they'll think, are you even paying attention, Howard? You know
Right.
that guy just ripped his pants and you didn't say, so you have to.
Have you ever done that where you go up on stage and you make a comment, just an offhanded comment about the person who was on stage before you, and then the audience thinks that you're mean?
That's another difficult one. And I was talking about Sally Mullins with you, who's an amazing, great host. Sometimes there's a comedian that should not be doing comedy. There's no reason for this person to be doing comedy. Mm-hmm. They just did 5 to 7 minutes, ran the light, and now it's up to 10 minutes, and we can't get them off stage. And then they come off stage, and I have to say, "What a great job!" I can't be rude and mean, but I know that I wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't think the audience was enjoying it, but I have to have a smile and say, let's bring on the next one.
Wow, that's tough. Never thought about that.
Yeah, sometimes that's a fine line too.
Yeah. All right, so I think that my chat is not coming in from. Is it coming in from YouTube? I don't know. It's coming in from Facebook. We know that much. But our YouTube chat, I don't know. Doesn't seem to be coming in. So if anybody's on YouTube and you want to chat, maybe move over to Facebook. Go to joelmarshall.com. I don't know. We need some chat. We got a good chat room anyway. But I don't know what's going on with the YouTube chat. These things, there's not much you can do about them. The technical things. So I want to ask you this, because you're a flight attendant. And this weekend I read this big article in the New Yorker or New York Magazine. I don't know the difference. So anyway, I read this magazine article about UFOs and how it's probably like a real thing, UFOs. And that the government has known about UFOs for a long time. And they've been hiding it from us for various reasons. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's hysteria, possible hysteria they're concerned about.
Of course.
So X-Files was about that. Lots of shows, people talk about Roswell, all that stuff. But now they're starting to kind of release papers about actual aliens, and people are coming to the forefront to talk about it because even reporters were afraid to report on it because it makes them look crazy and they lose all their credibility. Have you ever seen an alien in all your flying?
An alien? Seen an alien?
Seen an alien saucer, a jetpack flying by, anything, just totally out of the ordinary that you can't explain?
My gosh, up in the sky, I don't really sit and look out the window, but I never even heard about an alien is on William Shatner. He looks out the window and there was this monster on the wing, but that was the Twilight Zone. So that's it. That's pretty much.
That's my favorite Twilight Zone, I think.
I'm grasping for straws. I haven't really encountered anything. I've seen the Aurora Borealis. I think that is remarkable and unexplainable, even though scientifically it is explainable, but it makes you think there's a lot of interesting things out there that comes from the sun and the lights, and it's gorgeous, but it has so much meaning. But aliens,
I found that
no.
kind of a spiritual experience to see the Aurora Borealis. Did you find it like a kind of like a spiritual thing that you remember? I did too. Where did you see it? From the plane?
From the plane, going either to or from Anchorage. As a went there to Alaska a couple times, and at night they would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, at the left side, that's the Aurora Borealis. At the right side is, there's nothing at the right side. We apologize if you're on the right side, but the left side is getting the miracle of miracles. Wow, you are on the wrong side." So
That's terrible.
Yeah, you should have booked.
Yeah. Did everybody and everybody can't move to one side of the plane, right? Because it would just go.
Yeah, of course it would.
The last thing you would see would be the Aurora Borealis. I saw it when I was up in Alaska.
Of course, yes.
Pretty amazing stuff. There's some calm music.
That's nice.
That's what it's like when you see the Aurora Borealis. You're just like, everything's good.
I actually, I took my kids when they were to Alaska.
Yeah.
Right after I had a very difficult divorce.
Uh-huh.
And they were very young. They were like 3 and 4. And I took them as passengers with their dad to Alaska. And pretty much the only reason I did that was to impress my ex-wife, to see that you're missing. Well, how could you not want to be with this guy? I'm going, and I'm not a rugged guy. I don't camper fish or do that stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of just stayed at the Anchorage Airport Hilton for 2 nights. And
Nice.
I just wanted to be in Alaska. And when now, and I will tell them, do you remember when we went to Alaska? And they remember, which is terrible. I didn't want them to remember, because my daughter, I remember her saying to me, "Dad, are we going to leave this hotel room and do something?" And I said, "What do you mean do something? We're in Alaska. You can tell your friends you went to Alaska. I don't understand. What do you need to see? Look,
That's hilarious.
So I was,
Were you?
I'm a little embarrassed about that.
What were you afraid to go out in Alaska?
We didn't even rent a car. I just wanted to. You're not going to like this. Okay. But I wanted to combine the fact that I wanted to go. It was very selfish. I wanted to go running in all 50 states.
Yeah.
And I'd never run in Alaska. So I thought, oh, well, while the kids are in the hotel room watching Nickelodeon,
you'll run.
I can just run laps around the hotel, and they'll be safe because I'll just wave at the window, and that'll qualify as going running in Alaska. And on paper, that sounds like, oh my God, what an exciting life. You've done all these things.
Yeah.
Airport Hilton, Anchorage.
No. Is that the airline steward's life? You go to different places for very short amounts of time, do one thing, and then you're like, yeah, I've seen it. No, moving on.
Yeah.
I saw their Holiday Inn.
It gets old. There's of course cities that I've never been to, and I don't think I need to. I've seen enough. I think there's nothing that's really, I don't want to do a safari, and I don't want to go I've been to Australia. That's 18 hours on an airplane. I don't need to go there. I'm not in a hurry to go there. I want to go to Liverpool. I want to see where the Beatles, that's something on my list still. So
all right, so that segues to the game, the game that we're gonna play here. It's gonna be tough. I'm a little nervous. It's kind of a big game, but we're gonna do our best. It's just you and me. There's some people in the chat room. For some reason, the Well, I'm going to take a look at the YouTube chat room, but it totally tanked on us for some reason. We don't know why. This is the way YouTube. This is the way all this stuff is, which is kind of makes it fun, makes it entertaining, makes it you never know what's going to happen. You're flying by the seat of your pants. Let me just check it out here. I think the chat room might be going. So at least if somebody does have a chat, I can, if they have a guess, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I see someone in there said The New Yorker. That's where my article is from, not from New York Magazine. Okay, so now you have ties with the music industry. You did something with a famous musician, and I hear you have a crazy story about it. I wonder if you could tell us that story in the Trash Panda comedy room. Would you like to do that?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's
go to the comedy, the
Come
story
over.
room.
Come on over. I see, look at this. This is
nice.
cool. We were like in the room, both of us together. Everybody's here. All
With
right,
our pandas.
Yeah, we're ready. Those are Trash Pandas. We're ready for the goods. Yeah, tell us about the time that you spent.
Well, I went to El Camino Real High School in Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of celebrities that went to that. A lot of people that became extremely successful. Brad, the tall guy on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah.
He's tall. Yes.
Is he super tall? Always been tall?
He's always been tall. Even when he was born, he was tall. I don't know. That's not funny. He
was long when he was born.
I tell people I finished 7th for class clown because we've had such a funny class, and then Brad Garrett. So we over the years, I'm 60 years old now, and about 4 years ago, I was contacted by some very close friends of mine from high school who assumed I have been doing comedy since high school, which is not true. I go 7 years, I stop. It's been a great hobby, but they assumed that I have been. So without doing any checking, they said, "Hey, Howard," I'm not going to say their names because I don't know. "Hey, Howard, would you like to, we have this thing we're thinking, it's going to be a 8-hour music festival. We're going to have it in Calabasas at the Amundsen Ranch. We're going to have the Spin Doctors, and we're going to have
Spin Doctors.
We're going to have big groups. We're going to have Melissa Etheridge and Mick Fleetwood, people that live in Calabasas. They want to be in the show, and we're going to have 2 rotating stages, and you're going to be the host if you want to do this, because we know that you've been doing comedy for all these years, and you're probably really like a great host. Have you done an 8-hour comedy / music festival, Howard, with rotating stages, and you do the announcement for the vendor? You've done this, Howard?" I said, "Absolutely, I have. Yes. My answer is yes." I was thinking they're going to check, right?
Yeah.
Then they said, "Howard, also, there's a lot of charities involved. Have you ever auctioned off a guitar? You have to be an auctioneer for like a Hall of Fame guitarist, Robbie Krieger of The Doors.
No way.
We love Robbie. He's going to be there, and you'll auction off his guitar. Have you ever done something like that before?"
Yeah.
And I said,
"Of course.
I do ukuleles. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Yes."
Yeah.
I just kept saying yes. It's like going to a job interview and kind of just saying, I can do it.
Improv.
I can handle it.
It's like improv.
I didn't know how far it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then, so 3 years ago, in 2019, the Amundsen Ranch had the first annual Hootenanny, the first one featuring the Spin Doctors as headliners, and then just bands galore everywhere. These great bands, these up-and-coming bands, and all the celebrities from Calabasas and Malibu, and they're all coming to attend. Howard Aronin is the host. So I just kept saying yes. And for about a month and a half, I kept thinking positive energy. Howard, you can do this. Just be your, just, and I went into the mode of a host of a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
So the day of, I went to see these amazing stages that they were building for these bands. And I thought, I just kept saying, this is going to happen. It's going to be fine. Mm-hmm. And I just went with it the whole time. I just went with it as if I was supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And I cut to the chase. I'm on the stage introducing Robbie Krieger, and he's playing Break On Through to the Other Side, and I'm holding him, and I'm auctioning off his guitar, and I'm getting it up to 1,000 and 2,000 and 3, as if I'd ever auctioned anything in my life.
Did you do the auctioning thing, or I don't know, you're saying 32, 37, I don't know how they do it. I'm just trying.
I locked in. I became an auctioneer. I guess as an actor, you would know. Now I'm an auctioneer. Now I've done this for years. I've been auctioning. Whatever I saw on television over the years, that's what I did. And it wasn't much difficulty to get people to bid on his guitar, and he's standing right there. Yeah. So in a nutshell, this is the dream of my life. I'm backstage, I'm talking to the Spin Doctors, asking them, what would you like for your intro? Yeah. Like I would say to an open mic comic, what would you like for your intro? And this is the Spin Doctors. They're like, what the, but I was acting as if I host music festivals all the time. I'm just getting your info. And lo and behold, I did the entire day. It was 8 hours. And I go into the dressing room of the Spin Doctors finally because they're getting ready. And I just wanted to make sure everything is cool. And Howie Mandel's in there. He's meeting the Spin Doctors. He lives in Calabasas. And somebody put their hand on my shoulder and said, Howard, your day is done. You did fine. Howie Mandel is going to introduce the Spin Doctors. And I said,
no, he's not.
Fantastic. Oh. I didn't fuck up. I didn't fuck up.
That's nice.
And I got to be an audience member and schmooze and walk around now and watch the Spin Doctors. So they asked me to do it the second year.
They did?
I did the second annual one. I did it in 2018 and 19. No show, of course, in 2020 this year. It's in May. Mm-hmm. I assume that they're going to do it again next year. The second year, they were a group called the Dirty Knobs, mm-hmm. which is Tom Petty's group. Without Tom Petty, it's Mike Campbell, who sings and sounds like Tom Petty. That's his band. And that was just a host of celebrities I had to bring up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dennis Quaid in the audience. He's going to sing a song. Here's Sebastian Bach. Hey, here's Elliot Easton, the guitarist of the Cars. Come on up, Elliot. He's going to.
That is fun.
So that's my story.
I did. This is just my little addendum. I did some rainforest concert at the Greek, where I played Bugs Bunny. They would send us to different places. They called them specials. So you'd go out as Bugs Bunny into the world. So I was there. And I was talking to this kid, and I had the costume kind of rolled down, and I'm sitting there, just kind of as me. And I'm talking to this kid, and we talked for a little while, and finally he goes, you want to meet my dad? And I was like, okay. Dad comes over. His dad is Sting. The guy's dad is Sting. And I was like, I just was like, I couldn't even function. And then later on, I had the costume on, and I was Bugs Bunny and doing my thing. This is how you do it, like that. And, you're just, people love Bugs Bunny. And so little Richard loves Bugs Bunny. Little Richard comes running up to me, like so excited to see Bugs Bunny. And he just hugs me. Yeah. And he just hugs me. And he was all sweaty and I was all sweaty because he had just been performing. It was a beautiful thing. And I remember looking through the little eyes of the thing and seeing little Richard just so happy to see Bugs Bunny. And I was so happy to see him. So anyway, it was super fun. Experiences as Bugs Bunny. All right.
There's a thing that
Yeah.
has to click in. You can't be intimidated. You can't think, I'm talking to a major celebrity or a star right now.
Yeah.
You have to be like, hey, let's just do this business. It's all business. I'm the host on after this. And
Yeah.
it was just, I can't tell you how it was a dream come true. And they had me do it a second
So
year,
cool.
which is, so that's my story.
I love that. Okay, now we've put this off too long. We have to
I'm sorry.
we have to do the
12:44.
contest. And I appreciate the story. No, I'm not saying that we're stalling by
Well,
any
I did the
means.
Alaska story. That was
I
not
love
funny.
the Alaska story. The Alaska story is such a real human story where you're not necessarily the hero. You're not the hero.
No, I'm not. I was the villain.
The running villain. All right, let's get into this contest. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how this is going to go today because there's some weird technical stuff going on that is it's like out of my control. But you and I, we're going to try and do our best because that's what we do here at Lunch Therapy. We do our best. And today, here we are with Tom Silvestri's Pocket Hall of Rock and Roll History. It's a lunch therapy game. It's featuring many, many different performers. This is a game. Wow, the crowd is going nuts. It's just going nuts.
Great crowd.
Yeah. All right.
That's Loretta. I hear Loretta. That was Loretta.
There's
I could
Loretta,
hear her.
yeah. You did hear her. Oh my God, this is so great. So it's so great to be here with Tom Silvestri's Pocket Rock, whole roll history thing game. Tom Silvestri's Pocket Hall of Rock and Roll History quiz show.
Yes.
With Howard Aronin and Joelmarshall. So let's get this thing started. Who do we have first? We have Harlan Gleason. Do you know the comedian Harlan Gleason? You know Harlan?
No.
You will now.
I don't.
You will now.
I love Harlan.
Hilarious comedian.
Many have speculated upon how much Jim Morrison's rebellious artistry and attitude had to do with his relationship to his father, a U.S. Navy admiral. My question is this. What song by The Doors is most directly about the military, war, and those who die in battle?
Do you know this one?
I know the answer.
You do. You see, I will.
It's Unknown Soldier.
Let's find out. Let's find out if that's the answer. I think it might be.
Answer. The Unknown Soldier. First released in March of 1968, and then later included in their album Waiting for the Sun in July of that same year. Thank you for participating.
Thank you, Harlan Gleason. Yeah, that was good. And you got the first one. That was just amazing to me. I'm amazed. That was good. That was good. So you're 1 for 1. 1 for 1. Wow, that was
and
cool.
his father was a naval officer. I did not know.
Isn't that interesting?
anymore.
That was a picture of him previously. All right, so you're 1 for 1. Let's move on. There's a Doors album. That's the Unknown Soldier right there. Later on in the show, we might have Harlan Gleason he also riffed on this idea and has a lot more to say about it. But now we're moving on to the next one. This is Sinead Summers, another hilarious comedian here in Los Angeles. This is a question from Sinead.
1972's Superstition became one of Stevie Wonder's greatest hits of all time, but he originally wrote the funk masterpiece for a different dazzling musician. Who?
Okay, Stevie Wonder wrote Superstition for another musician. Who knew?
At one time I think I knew the answer to this, and now it's lost because I keep thinking of Stevie Ray Vaughan doing that. His rendition
Oh yeah.
of that song is great. So I'm gonna have to say, do you know?
You mentioned
know the
Stevie Ray
answer?
Vaughan, and now it's time for me to tell a story.
Oh.
I met George Washington at the Gorge, they call it, and I'm seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, and I am there just for that reason. It's on a big winery, so I go out to the grapes of the winery, and I'm thinking I'm going to find Stevie Ray Vaughan for some reason. I think of this, and I see this bus. It's a tour bus, and in the back it says Destiny. So I go up to the door. I knock on the door. Door opens up. They say, yeah. And I say, I'm here to see Stevie. And the guy says, just a minute. Goes in back into the bus. Out comes Stevie Ray Vaughan. Little guy, huge hands. I say, wow. I don't know what to say at this point. I'm like, what am I going to say? And I said, how do you get your guitar to play so low? And he said, I just play low. So that was it. I just play low. And then I said, where do you get your hats? And then he told me.
I was going to mention that.
Then he told me, which I forgot because I was just, in weird, animal brain at this point. And then, weirdly enough, I said, do you think you could give me something so I can prove to my friend that I met you? And he's like,
that's nice.
Yeah, let me give you this. And he gives me a guitar pick that says Stevie Ray Vaughan on it. And then as if I haven't gotten enough, I said to him, could you play Voodoo Child for me? That's what I said. In the concert, could you play Voodoo Child for me? And he goes, I can't do it for you, but I can do it for everybody.
Nice.
And then what happened was, in the concert, it started to rain, and he stayed on stage playing Couldn't Stand the Weather in the rain. And I told my friend, I met Stevie Ray Vaughan. He did not believe me, even though I had the guitar pick. And I said, he's going to play Voodoo Child. And then his act was over. And then, of course, he came out for an encore. And it was like, and I was like, see? So that was pretty amazing.
Oh, my God.
Yes. That's my story. Sven says Marvin Gaye. It's a good guess.
I was going to say Diana Ross. I was going to go with a female.
Neil
Marvin
says,
Gaye
what's
could
the
be...
answer? Yeah, Marvin Gaye could be the answer. Neil is very, very, I don't know. He's heard that story before.
They're angry.
He's angry. Okay, so here we go. Question is, Stevie Wonder wrote a song for another artist, and it was Superstition, and who was it for? And the answer is
Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck.
Who first made
Oh
his
my
mark in the
God.
1960s as the innovative lead guitarist for the British blues psychedelia band the Yardbirds, but went on in the 1970s to become one of the greatest rock guitar heroes of all time.
Nice. Jeff Beck.
But who would sing it? He's a guitarist. Who would be
I
their
know,
vocal?
but I guess he was in Cream, right?
He was in the Yardbirds.
Oh, Yardbirds. She said it. Yardbirds. Yeah. Maybe they sang it in the Yardbirds. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting, right?
Now, if you had the hat on, you could do a Stevie Ray Vaughan impression. Have you ever been told that?
Maybe some. No, I haven't.
You've
but
got the beard.
Someday there'll be a movie, right?
Yeah.
And I'll remember what he said. Play real low. Play real low. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was Sinead. Okay, this is Cade Alexi. He is from Los Angeles as well. Another hilarious comedian. This is going to be about Otis Redding.
I want to meet them.
Before one of the songs that the immortal soul singer Otis Redding performed live at the Monterey Pop Festival, he introduced it from the stage by joking to the audience about a girl who stole the song from him. Who was that girl? What was the song? And what did Otis mean?
See, now this is a three-parter.
Wow. See, because
was the
sitting on the
song?
dock of the bay is too late. But that's the only song that's popping into my head right now. But I think that's too late. And I don't know who it would be.
All right, let's go for it. I'm
Sorry.
letting the chat room. Chuck had something. Maybe he's got an answer. He's pretty smart. So difficult. Yeah. Loretta says it's so difficult. Yeah, it's a rough one. This is not, for the amateurs. This is a professional quiz. But everyone's welcome, of course. Here we go.
Aretha Franklin had a huge hit with her version of Otis's song Respect earlier in 1967.
Can you believe that?
2 years after Otis Redding recorded and released his original version of the song.
That's his song.
I would never have guessed that. Never in a million years would I have guessed that. So iconic. Cool.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Cade. All right, moving along. We have Cynthia Levin, who I believe you know Cynthia, right?
Yeah.
So she's got a question for us. Here we go.
George Harrison.
Oh, no. I gave the answer. I blew it. Okay, well, maybe that's part of it.
George Harrison's The Inner Light, on which he played the Indian instrument known as a sitar, was the B-side of the Beatles' Lady Madonna 45 in 1968. Its wise lyrics were taken almost literally from what classic book of philosophy and spirituality?
Totally blew that.
Come on, Howard.
She's talking directly to
I
me.
know the answer, Howard.
Okay, I kind of flashed it for a moment on the screen.
What book? Buddha, some Buddhist book. I think I looked at it and it didn't register.
I tried to get it off there as soon as possible. Here we go.
I'm gonna say there's a Buddhist book and it's Siddhartha. Okay, bye.
That's a good guess.
The answer is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. It's pronounced Lucha's Tao Te Ching. It was published somewhere between 500 and 400 BC. Everybody knows this, Howard. I mean, this is
I know that everybody knows
embarrassing.
How did you know I didn't get it?
I know. She knows these things. She's really prescient.
That's a good one.
All right. Now, we pronounced that totally wrong. So we're going to be hearing...
Dao. It's a D sound. Dao.
So we're going to be hearing from Tom Silvestri on that one. By the way, Tom Silvestri had some revisions from last week. So, I'm going to have to post those somewhere because, there were some mistakes. I'm sure there were some mistakes this time, too. This is Kevin Sherman. He's from Chicago. Yep.
Hi, Kevin.
When Jimi Hendrix left for London to form the Jimi Hendrix Experience, he wanted to take a guitarist from his New York City band along with him. But at 15 years old, that guitarist was too young to get a work permit and thus couldn't make the trip. Who was that guitarist's stepfather? And what wildly eclectic rock band did the two of them help form only a year later?
Who was that guitarist's stepfather? Wow.
Stepfather. And what? Fuck.
It's going to be hard.
That's a great question. From Chicago.
From Chicago.
I don't like these awkward and pauses. It's not good entertainment, but I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
All right, let's move along.
Thinking.
I know, and so is the chat
Got
room
it.
too. So that's you got to give people a little bit of time, right? We got to give them time. I should have that music. Of course,
Yeah.
now I'll probably have to pay residuals for that. All right, let's go on to the answer.
Guitarist Randy Wolf, a.k.a. Randy California, a nickname given to him by Hendrix. Drummer Ed Cassidy, Randy's stepfather, singer Jay Ferguson, bassist Mark Andes, and keyboard player John Loke.
Locke.
or Locke
Yeah.
were the original members of Spirit, a group that Jimmy aided and befriended from their very start. That's Randy in the middle, in the cage,
In the Cape.
and Ed, all in black, in the back.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, Kevin
Nice
Sherman.
cage.
Yeah, that was
Thank
good.
you, Kevin.
In the cage. There he is in the cage. So there you go. That was a tough one, I think. I think it was a tough one.
Yeah, and Jay Ferguson, I'm familiar with too. He did some solo stuff.
Okay, so that was a tough one. I mean, they're getting tougher, I think.
And if there's any time left, I have some Joel
Okay.
Marshall.
We'll have to do it. Yeah, let's see.
What musically adventurous British band
Erica
of
Switzer.
the late 1960s chose their name on a day in which they couldn't even manage to get across town in a taxi, much less travel around the world to perform live on stage, as they went on to do for many years?
This is Erica Switzer, another fantastic comedian. Have you done a show with her?
I know the name. I've
She's
definitely
great.
seen her.
She's happening. She's also from Chicago.
It
Any
says
idea?
that right there.
I know. That's how I know.
I kind of didn't hear the question.
Oh, you want to hear it again?
They can't perform on a certain day. What was that?
Okay, let's go back.
I'm sorry.
What musically adventurous British band of the late 1960s chose their name on a day in which they couldn't even manage to get across town in a taxi, much less travel around the world to perform live on stage, as they went on to do for many years?
Huh. I would love a hint. I would love a hint, Erica and Tom.
I can give you a
Just
hint.
a little,
I know the
little
answer to
hint.
this one. I'm going to give you a hint. It was, I don't know what my hint is going to be. It was something about going across town. That's the thing. Going across town. They got stuck in...
Stuck in the middle with you? Is it?
Stuck in the middle with you. That's a good guess.
Stuck in the middle. Stuck.
Okay, I'm going to play it. Here we go.
Your answer, Traffic. Originally formed
Oh,
in
my
1967
God.
by Steve Winwood, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Can you believe
I'm
it?
so embarrassed. I'm
Your
embarrassed.
answer, Traffic.
I'm-
Originally formed in 1967 by Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi, Chris Wood, and Dave Mason. Now back to Dear Mr. Fantasy himself, Joel Marshall.
Good thing I didn't cut that off. I got my own moniker, Dear Mr.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Mr. Fantasy.
Mr. Fantasy. Yeah, those
That
are
one.
tough.
That one. Oh, I want that one back.
Seems like you could have gotten that one. Yeah,
Traffic.
stuck in
Stuck
traffic.
in.
And you're like stuck in the middle with you. Jeez, I was like, oh, come on, Howard. Jeez.
Yeah. British.
All right, there's Erica. She's here in the chat room. All right, keep going, Howard. Thanks for doing that, Erica. I appreciate all of you folks for doing this. It's super fun.
Another
Paige got it.
Joel. A
Paige
second
got-
Joel.
Yeah, so this is Joel Jeske. Yeah, just Kamala saying, can you see these chats? We are starting now to see the YouTube chats.
Let's start
Yes.
all over.
So we finally started getting the YouTube chat. Just now, though. Just now. And here's Matt Wright. Speaking of 15-year-olds, check out Spencer Davis's group to witness young Steve Winwood singing like he's lived 50 years. Yeah, that's one of the things about some of these performers, like Paul Simon, where you see them play and they're like super young. And for some reason, they seem to be wise as can be, you know? I don't know where
Yeah.
they get their wisdom. This is Joel Jeske. He is in New York. He is a clown. He's a professional clown. And he's also been doing some stand-up comedy. And he was with the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Yeah, we have an episode where we interview him on the show. You might want to check that out because it's really good.
I will.
So anyway, so here's what Joel Jeske has to say.
Hello, I'm Joel Jeske. One of the most beloved and best-selling British progressive rock albums of the 1970s had as its title character a fictional homeless person whose name was coined when the wife of the band's leader showed him photographs that she had taken of such actual people in and around London. Now, what was the name of the legendary song and the album on which it appeared?
This dead air is not good. I can't do that. Another hint from either Joel. Either Joel can give me a hint. I don't.
Nothing. You get no lifelines. I got to get lifelines on the show. I was going to have Elizabeth Croydon on the show to give you a lifeline, but just couldn't make it.
No, I'm looking for a song or a group or both.
Should we listen to it again? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Joel Jeske. One of the most beloved and best-selling British progressive rock albums of the 1970s had as its title character a fictional homeless person whose name was coined when the wife of the band's leader showed him photographs that she had taken of such actual people in and around London. Now, what was the name of the legendary song and the album on which it appeared?
We have a winner in the chat room. We have a winner. Here it is, Paige. Here it is.
Clapton.
Aqualung. Jethro
my God, that's
Tull.
wonderful. Ian Anderson. I got that, and I did hear people in junior high say, "Have you? Jethro Tull's going to be at the LA Forum. I love Jethro, like it was a person. No, Ian Anderson."
The answer? Jethro Tull's Aqualung, which Ian Anderson wrote and recorded with the band after seeing his wife Jenny's photos. The album was released in March of 1971 in England and in April of that same year in the US.
All right.
Thank you, Joel Jeske.
That was good, huh?
That was great.
So Pink Floyd was the same thing. There's the cover of Aqualung. Yeah.
Now all the graphics are working.
Sitting on the park bench. Dun, dun, dun. Aqualung. Dun, dun. Okay.
5 little girls with bad intent.
Yeah.
What a great line.
never go over today. Never would go over. They'd be like, take that off the shelves. So tell me something. How many do you think you got?
I think I got one. I got the opening Doors one.
I wonder who. I think that Paige apparently was getting a lot of them, but she was on YouTube.
Paige.
So, yeah.
Paige DePoe?
Yep, Paige DePoe.
I have all of her albums. She's wonderful.
Yep. Aqualung.
Weird.
All right, so we're moving along.
Okay.
I've got just one little extra. Oh wait, you've got questions for me. Trivia
just
questions.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'll just do this so quick. Now, there's 3 names: Howard, Joel, and Marshall. There's no one in music that has those names. There's no one important it's just, we have very bad names in music. So I researched, is there anyone famous that's a Joel or a Howard? So, and first name, Billy Joel does not count.
Doesn't count?
Who is the famous musician named Joel?
Does Joel Gray count?
No. I would call him an entertainer. I'm saying like rock and roll and like a band or, Tom Silvestri, you can play too.
Oh, yeah. Tom's not on, unfortunately.
I'm coming for you, Tom.
Joel Madden is what Erica Switzer said.
Yes. The answer is Joel Madden, the lead singer of Good Charlotte, and he's married to Nicole Richie. All of those things I don't care about.
Thanks, Erica.
And next, a second, Joel, is what is the only song where the title is the name Joel?
Wow, you'd think I'd know that.
Has Joel in the title? It's a very famous song.
It's a very famous song with my name in the title?
Maybe.
I'm going to say Joel,
No,
Oh.
that's incorrect. The answer is Dolly Parton Jolene, which is the female version of Joel. So it's a trick question.
that
and
was
I'm
a
sure
good one.
Did
That
Erica
was a good
probably
one.
got that one.
Oh, I love
And
that
then
song.
we go to
Jolene,
Marshall.
Jolene, Jolene.
There was a group in the 70s, rock.
Jolene.
You can sing it, yeah.
Kamala
A
got
group
it.
in the 70s. She did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
She said Jolene
I-
country song.
I love her.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Joel.
That was a.
There's the other one.
that was
Matt
a-
Wright says, Hey, Joel.
Oh yeah, by the Beatles. Hey,
Or maybe
Joe.
Hey, Joel. Like, Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your
Oh,
hand?
that's true. Matt, which one do you mean?
Yeah, which one
Let's
does he
find
mean?
out, Matt. Now we go to Marshall quickly.
Yeah.
What
Marshall
is
Tucker
the-
Band.
Marshall Tucker Band. Now, here's the background. Is there anyone in the band actually named Marshall Tucker? And the answer is no.
Really?
And this, I researched, there's never been a human being in the band named Marshall Tucker.
What?
And apparently they found out the story of a blind piano tuner. His name was Marshall Tucker. They liked that name and they said, let's call us Marshall Tucker, but it has nothing to do with the blind piano tuner. We just like the name, which is a lie. It's his
That's
name.
ridiculous.
So
That has nothing to do with that.
I read that several times. And what is the most famous rock and roll singer named Marshall?
Well, James Marshall Hendricks.
First name has to be Marshall. First name.
Darn it. I thought I had you on that one. Marshall Fields. Marshall Will and Holly. Marshall. I don't know. Does anybody know in the chat room?
Anybody know? Most famous Marshall.
Probably Paige
entertainer,
knows,
singer.
but her chat has not gotten here on time because that's the way it's going. Nobody knows.
He goes by
Marshall Mathers.
Jethro Marshall too.
Erica
Yes.
Switzer.
Eminem. Marshall
She is-
Mathers.
Oh, Eminem. Oh,
Yes, Eminem.
man.
You're thinking about the E and you don't think it's an M.
Erica's
And,
on it. Erica's good.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Martial
at this.
arts. Martial arts.
Martial arts. Paige didn't get it. She was thinking. That was a good
We
one.
have time.
These
we
are
have
good
time for
questions. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, we
and
got a
this
little
is
time.
a music maker, the most famous music maker who has been on every stage, doing every show in rock and roll all over the world. The most famous. The name is
The most famous
Marshall.
Marshall? Another Marshall?
The most famous, been on every stage, done music, has done music in every venue worldwide. And it's not a human being. It's Marshall amplifiers. Marshall.
Oh, okay.
The amplifiers.
Okay.
That was a trick question. I
And
wanted
Paige
Tom
got
to
it.
get that
Paige
one.
got it too.
She did?
Yeah.
She
My
wrote Marshall
chat
amp?
thing is like so messed up today, but she totally got it. Can't
Paige
even
is
believe
my.
it.
Oh,
I
he's
even
genius.
have the hat. You know, I have the Marshall amplification
Oh, yeah? Of
hat. I
course
have the
you do.
shirt. Of course, I have all those things. Penny Marshall, Matt Wright got it. Marshall amps. Yeah,
Marshall
that's it.
amps.
You're right.
Oh. And I have two Howards. We probably don't have time for Howards. There's only one
Do
musician
it.
named Howard that's ever been in the history of music. Only one musician named Howard.
Only one.
Only one.
Okay, let's go over to this.
There's
area.
one. There's only one.
I need is there. It's only one Howard.
Ever. There's never been another. Only one
Howard
musician.
Hughes?
If you're
Is he a
not
musician?
going to music.
Yeah. Howard Stern.
No, he's not. No. And he has tons of hit songs, and he's British, and I'm freezing.
People are saying
got
stuff
it,
in
right?
the chat room. People are saying stuff in the chat room. I'm just too busy putting your name on the screen. There we go.
That's it?
Howard. Okay, so here are the answers from our chat room. Thank God for the chat room. There, your name just fell off again. Howard Kalin. See, we got people that know more than we do. The Turtles, of the Turtles.
Oh,
Howard Devoto.
leader of the band. He's the leader. His name, His name is the name of the group.
And Howard's name is?
Yeah.
Howard Hewitt?
No, but that's I know Howard Hewitt, but he doesn't. Yeah, okay. There's two musicians. This guy and Howard Hewitt are the only two.
And Howard?
No.
Kamala says, why is Paige a genius? Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Howard Jones.
That's it. Erica got it.
You can take a swimming, but you can't have a swim.
That's it.
You're the fastest runner, but you're not allowed to win. Sometimes by the pool, but you can't have a swim. I got the words all wrong, but I got the tune perfect. The tune was perfect. Da, 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 da. And you wonder, and you want. Oh, listen to this. Paige has a story. She says, my grandmother dated his uncle in her later years. Howard Jones.
Everyone knows that. That's in the Wikipedia.
It's in the Wikipedia.
My grandmother dated.
All of our grandmothers dated his uncle. I mean, the later years, of course.
His uncle.
Yeah.
And his uncle is Davy Jones of the Monkees. I'm kidding. That's a lie.
It's
not true. It's not true. And only one time in the history of music, this is my last one.
Yeah.
Howard ever been in a song, in a famous song, and it's mentioned 3 times in a song, the name Howard, which is not a name you would ever hear in music.
Uh-huh.
And Jeannie Sykes should know the answer to this.
Oh, Jenny. Where is Jenny today?
Ginny.
Yeah.
And it's a Bob Dylan song. He is a character in a Bob Dylan song, and he gets a line in the song. And the song is Highway 61. And he says, Old Howard just pointed with his gun and said, that way to Highway 61. Howard is in the Bob Dylan song. And that's my favorite song because there's 3 mentions.
Today, but Howard Devoto
Buzzcocks.
recorded as a solo artist. He was in the Buzzcocks. So there you go. There's more Howards than you think. All right, with that, we're going to go to a dance break. Here we go. Dance break time. Thank you, Howard, for being on the show. Thank you, Tom Silvestri, for writing
Thank you for having me.
The questions. Thank you, everybody who made videos. That was super cool. Erica Switzer, thanks for being here. Paige.
Erica Switzer, what a champ.
Cade. Harlan, I've got another thing that I was going to show with Harlan, but I'm not going to do it now. We're going to go right to the dance break. Here we go. And this is relevant to something you said earlier on, your crazy story. This is a song. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, thank God. So you said Spin Doctors.
Amazing.
So we got some Spin Doctors.
This is a miracle.
Here. This guy is fantastic too. Fernando Ufret.
Hey, 1, 2, princess, you before you.
This is a happy
what
song.
I said now, a princess who adore you. Just go walk it now in one hand, diamonds in his pocket. That's her bread now, but this one says he wants to buy you rockets. And in his head now, this one got a princely racket. That's what I said now, and got some big seal up on his jacket. In his head now, you marry him, your father will condone you. How about that now, you marry me, your father will disown you. So eat his hand now, marry him or marry me. I'm the one that loves it, can't you see? I ain't got no future on fabric, but I know what a prince and lover ought to be. I know what a prince and lover ought to be. Said if you
Paige
want to call
should send me her address because I think she wins a shirt.
Like to tell me, baby,
Paige wins a shirt today.
Wanna buy me flowers? Just go walk it now. And if you like to talk for hours, just go walk it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, thanks everybody for being on the show. Thanks Howard for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you Fernando Ufret for your wonderful music stylings. We'll see everybody on Friday for Interview Friday.